Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to another video. Today is a TBR. Can you believe it's November? I don't know how. I really don't know how. I have a realistic TBR, as I always do today. That was entirely sarcastic. I tried, okay, I really tried, but it's just, there's so many books I want to get to. So many, and I felt bad for not including them, even if I don't get to them. I'm gonna try. You know what? I'll at least try. And by putting them on this TBR, I'm trying. The first one I really want to get to is The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. I have recently expressed how I really want to try and read like all of her books by the end of the year. I really want to try. This is the one I want to read next though. I just am so hyped for it. I know there's like a cult of assassins in this and it's this desert setting. I've heard so many like buzzwords for this book, and all those buzzwords are buzzwords I look out for. So I'm so excited. There is a video I have planned to do that includes this book. So it's going to happen. It needs to happen. I'm hyped. I also need to continue my Robin Hobb reading. I did complete the next book I was up to, which was Dragon Keeper in October. Trying to keep track of the months. It's getting tricky now. And I really need to continue the next book, which is Dragon Haven. This is part of the Rainwild series. So we're first introduced to this bunch of characters in the Life Traders series, and they very interesting because they're quite closely tied to the magic. Now, I did think when I read Dragon Keeper that we were actually going to just follow those Rainwild characters we were introduced to in the Live Ship Trader trilogy, but we actually do not. We do have interactions and see some of the original characters, but the main cast, at least for book one, is a new set of characters, and I like most of them. Some of them I don't like at all. It's very easy to read. At this point, Robin Hobb has just become a comfort author for me, so I find her books so quick to read. Like Dragon Keeper, I literally read in basically a day, in basically 24 hours. So I have high hopes I can get through this one as well quite quickly. I have a feeling though that this one is not going to be a great book. I've just kind of heard that this is one of Robin Hobb's least popular books ever, so I don't know, and we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I am excited to continue and learn more about the magic, and there's like a lot of dragons, which I really appreciate. Next, I can't forget to include the not Dejin and Cairo, A Master of Jin. I did have this on my October TBR, and unfortunately I only got 86 pages into this and I didn't manage to complete it in October, mostly because I have just been working on vlogs and such. I'm putting it here because I really want to get it done in November. I'm still buddy reading it with my friend Sophia, and we're kind of very in sync with our buddy read in terms of neglecting our buddy read. But I'm really enjoying this so far. My favorite thing is definitely the world. It's this really interesting fusion of like steampunk and fantasy and supernatural. It's set in Cairo in like the 1920s as well, but it's like an alternate history, so it's like a fantastical world that's based off our world, and we have like elements of our history, but things are slightly different. And so far I'm really liking it. It's also got like a murder mystery. Now, some might call me crazy for adding these on my TBR. That's okay. But I've just been eyeing these books so much recently since I've like organized my bookshelves and stuff. And I really want to read these. So the first is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell, which I actually have read before. I read this before I had my booktube channel, so a few years ago, and I really enjoyed this book when I read it. But it's one of those books that I'm constantly thinking about. Like, it just, my mind wanders to it all the time and I think about it. So I think I love it, but I don't know, and I just want to find out if I actually do love it. All I can remember is we follow this girl called Holly, and my favourite part of this book was we are first introduced to Holly as a teenager, and then each part of the book we actually flip to different POVs, and you end up figuring out as the story goes along, how this new person and this new POV, how they come into contact with Holly. And so you end up getting Holly's whole life story, but you only ever get her POV at the beginning. Then every other POV is someone else, and then they come into contact. Like, I think there was one POV where it was like her boyfriend, and then there was one where it was like a colleague or a boss, and you end up piecing this story together as you read it, and I loved it. There was also a more fantastical element. I think from memory there's a bunch of characters who are trying to become immortal, and that also comes into play. But I just remember being so fascinated and just so captivated by the story because of how you had to piece it together. So I really want to give it another read, just to, I don't know, I just want to find out. Like, I feel like I don't have a favorite book, and I feel like every booktuber has like a favorite book that they're known for, and I want that. I feel like rereading this might tell me if this is a contender or not, you know? So I really want to read that. And then I also want to read another book by David Mitchell, which is Cloud Atlas. This one, I honestly don't know anything about it. I just bought it after I read this because I loved it so much. I think, again, we have like multiple POVs. I think this deals with like different time periods, maybe time traveling. I don't want to know much. I just want to read it and see what I think. And I'll tell you guys hopefully at the end of November, because I'm going to be successful and read all the books on this TBR like I do every month. Cannot forget the trilogy I'm planning to binge read in November, and that is my reread of Jade City and Jade War, and my first read of Jade Legacy, which comes out sometime in November. I am so hyped for this book, I can't even tell you. And yeah, in preparation I have to reread the first two. I love this series. I feel like I talk about this series like in every second video on my channel. We have like mafia families, there's magic, and I am so scared for the last book. So scared. I need to know what happens. I also really want to read this book, which is For the Wolf. This is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and that is all I know. I know it got quite a bit of praise when it first came out, and I know my friend Katie really enjoyed this book when she read it, enough that she gifted it to me very kindly, and I've been meaning to read it ever since she gave it to me, and I may or may not have a video I want to do for it. So, you know, I really want to read it for that reason and more. Quickly, I'm going on my phone just to check for some audiobooks I'm also interested in reading. Now, the first one I really want to read is The Girl in Callous Way by Megan Golden. I read The Night Swim by Megan Golden in September. Then in October, I read The Escape Room, and this is her last book, which is also her debut of hers that I haven't read. So I really want to read it because I've really enjoyed her thrillers. I think she does quite different thrillers to what I kind of see that it's popular, and like from what I've read, so I really appreciate what she does differently. I have no idea what this is about. Okay, and then the other one I really want to read is another like murder mystery, and that is The Thursday Murder Club. I ran and got the audiobook for this after I heard Meg from Meg with Books talk about this. All I know is it's a group of like senior citizens who I think are in a retirement village or home together, and they end up investigating some sort of murder case. It sounds like such a fun time, and I really trust Meg's recommendations when it comes to murder mysteries. I find we have quite similar tastes, so I am hopeful I am going to love this one as well. And the last book I am going to add is Dark Shores. I want to read this because I read in October the sequel to The Bridge Kingdom, which is the Trade Queen, that's the name of book 2, and I really enjoyed it. This author writes like YA, or maybe it's classified as new adult fantasy romance, and I really enjoy it. Like, it's just a fun read, and I really enjoy reading her books in between like big reads. When I read The Traitor Queen, I read it like in between reading like The Poppy War and Dune, so those like more heavier fantasies, and it's just a light fun read. I don't know much about this one except I believe there are like pirates, there's gods, I think there's mermaids. It's set on the sea. It sounds like a really fun adventure and setting, so I hope I enjoy it, and yeah, listening to the audiobook of that one is the plan. And yeah, that is it for my TBR today. Hopefully I get through even more books. I just have so many books I want to read and so little time. It is actually an issue. But I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your reading plans are for November. Like, what is at the top of your TBR pile to finish before the end of the year, because we do not have much time. We need to prioritize, don't we? Thank you again, and I hope you're enjoying whatever you're currently reading, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!